Peace and blessings. Welcome back to Spiritual Love Tarot. I'm Jovhannah, an intuitive tarot reader, energy healer, and body worker. I've got so many things that I want to share that I've been working on just in preparation for the year ahead. One of the things that I did as a 2025 tarot guidance spread, I used my Oracle deck just to really pull some very broad kind of themes around. I pulled a general message, gains, obstacles, health, finance, career, and relationships. I pulled out my 2025 decks. Initially, I was going to choose 6 tarot and 6 oracle decks to work with. So far, I just have 4 or 5. And I did a 2025 reading for myself where I pulled a card for the year and then cards for the month. And something else that I would like to do is to create a spread that I can do monthly, maybe as a check-in around soul contracts, which is my card for 2025, which is really interesting and very meaningful. And even looking at this card, like I see a person's like face here, there's like the head, and then just seeing the messages that are coming in and just really aligning with a higher level soul contract, which is something that I'm very much so looking forward to. So I want to pull a card for, or create a spread for that. And then my card to guide me was movement into balance, which aligns with one of my most important goals, which is for me health, around health and fitness. So I'm really, really excited. I keep these 2 cards out on my desk so that I can see them and refer to them, because I really want them to inform everything that I do. So because we're like right before Christmas, all of that, I have kind of been quiet because I've been doing a lot of planning for 2025, especially for my business, making sure like everything is just in alignment with the direction that I want to go in. Also doing a lot around the house, cleaning the house, like washing clothes, just making sure everything, like I'm getting all the nooks and crannies just to have a really clean and clear, fresh start, because I truly desire to leave past energies in the past and have a nice clean slate for January. And though I know the actual new year starts at a different time, there's still this energy of clearing for me that takes place during the winter season, where it's a good time to release, so that, you know, when it comes time to really plant seeds, or, you know, springtime, when the new things begin to grow, that it's just a clear slate. So that's something that I like to do that's aligned within the seasons, within my own personal cycles, and that just feels really good and nourishing for me. So yeah, it's been fall for me is when I start like planning and getting clear on what intentions, goals, and things that I want to set for myself. And then I start to plant or lay the foundation for that. And then during winter, I start to clear away the obstacles and challenges and blocks and limitations, either within myself and my life, within my environment, so that I just really create a space where sacred things can blossom. So I want to share with you my 2025 decks. I also have like a list of blogs posts that I want to create and share, as well as in relation to the spreads that I have done for myself. And I just realized I do have 6 oracles, so I need to pull another tarot deck. So I want to consider what deck that's going to be. All right, so I've got all of my decks ready. I'm going to start with my oracles. Let me update my list. Dun, dun, dun. I made sure to choose different tarot decks for sure, ones that maybe I haven't really worked with. So I kind of just sat and thought about, okay, which decks have I had that I have not worked with? Which ones are kind of jumping out to me? And I just kind of went with that and just intuitively kind of chose. So since my tarot decks are right here, I'm gonna go ahead and start with these babies. So I have the Biblical Tarot. This is a deck that I really love and have been working with it almost daily. I think that it's a really beautiful deck. Why I chose this is because it speaks to me. Also, it allows me to weave in my spiritual practices in a different and deeper way. So it's just a deck that I really appreciate. This is the second edition that the creator came out with, Christamir Kalin, and it does have a bit more diversity in the deck. So this is their second edition, and I really love working with this deck. I love how it just weaves in bibliomancy and kind of brings the Bible to life in a different way. So Biblical Tarot will be a deck that I'm going to be working with in 2025. The Sacred She Tarot is one that popped up as well. I just got this deck and I have not really worked with it since bringing it into the fold. So I really want to use this one as well. It's very interesting because I noticed there were a lot of kind of nature decks, so I had to shift things, especially when it comes to like the oracle decks. A lot of them I noticed were very nature themed. So this is a deck that I got on Kickstarter, Self-Love Tarot. It is by Hannah Tricor. It's a very well-made deck, beautiful, but I just didn't connect to it for some reason. So it's one that I said I wanted to work with this year. And so I pulled it off of my shelf. It comes with like a little white book. And then I also got the bigger guidebook. So I'm really interested to see how this deck reads for me. I don't know what it was about it that once I received it was like, but like I said, I'm gonna just try to work with it because it's something that jumped out and wanted to be part of 2025 with me. So who knows what journey this will take me on. I've found in my practice that the decks that I'm kind of like, or like feel like I don't have a connection with, those are the ones that I tend to, once I really work with them, that the connection really tends to come to life and I have a deeper understanding of why the deck came into my possession and things like that. So I'm hoping that's the case with the Self-Love Tarot. So next is the Alchemistical Tarot. This was a deck that I worked with quite a bit, maybe a couple, 2 or 3 years ago. I'm not sure. I don't have my spreadsheet in front of me to know when I got this, but I love this deck. It's created by Sarah Roberts. It is 92 cards. So it has 5 elements and includes ether or spirit as its own element. And yeah, it's a very beautiful deck and one that I'm excited to work with again. When I did readings with it before, it really was helpful. So I'm glad to be working with it again and seeing what comes up for me in 2025 working with this deck. The other deck is the, if I can get to it, the Antique Blacks, a Root Workers Tarot by Dogon Kriega. This deck has not left my hands since I've gotten it. I usually use this as like my card of the day deck, and then have been working with it just for different readings and things. So I really wanted to dive deeper into this deck and really explore the cards more, not just in relation to tarot, but also like my spiritual practices as well. And I have found that these cards have just been amazing. So I'm going to continue working with them in 2025. my intention with this is to really stick to working with these particular decks. There might be times where I do a study or like pull another deck off the shelf, maybe to like do a review or walkthrough, just really reconnect with it. But it is my hopes that I really work with these heavily, because I found that when I do that and work with one deck for a consistent period of time, one, it strengthens the bond with that deck. I get to see different connections and patterns that are happening within my life. So that is kind of why I wanted to have a core collection that I really use as daily drivers. So next I'm gonna, and finally, the Wild Unknown Tarot is deck number 6. I almost forgot. So this deck I've had for quite some time, and I don't know that I've ever did a reading with it. This was one of those decks that I saw and I was like, oh my gosh, I would love to have that deck. But when I got it, I just kind of was like, I don't know. But I always loved seeing the artwork on, on other people's readings on Instagram and things like that. I just thought that it was a really beautiful deck. So yeah, I'm hoping that working with this, I was trying to decide between using one of Kim Krantz Oracle decks for 2025, but they didn't make it. So I definitely wanted to work with one of her decks. And look, there's the star and the moon. Maybe this was in order. Oh, I think it might have still been in order. Yeah. But I'm kind of excited to work with this deck and just see what type of relationship that I can cultivate with it, because I've not had the opportunity to do that. And as I look at these cards, I'm like, I really want to edge them with black. I think that would be so beautiful. I haven't edged a deck in a little while, or yellow. Any color really would make this very beautiful. I like her style of artwork. That's one of the things that drew me to this deck. But for readings, I don't know, it just didn't do it for me. So I'm gonna work with it and see how that shifts my belief and perspective about this beautiful deck. So yeah, those are my 2025 tarot decks, and I'll share them really quickly again. I'm really excited about working with the Wild Unknown because I've wanted to do that for quite some time. So I've got the Self-Love Tarot, the Sacred She Tarot, Biblical Tarot, the Wild Unknown Tarot, and the Antique Blacks, a Root Workers Tarot, and the Alchemistical Tarot. Those are my 6 decks for 2025. Trying to keep everything together. And then I'm gonna grab my Oracle decks. These were a little easier to, they're falling. A little easier to assemble. The first one was my Ancestor Oracle. This is a deck that I created for myself. One of the things that I would like to do, they're just kind of like handwritten, hand drawn, nothing super fancy, but it means everything to me because I know the intention behind the cards, why I created them, like what they mean. In my mind, my inner artist was gonna be a little more artistic in expression, but the cards came out the way they did, and it felt more like my inner child was like drawing and coloring than, pursuing it as an artistic endeavor. So I love it. It's definitely a treasure to me. So that's going to be one of my main oracles to work with. This card fell out. Don't give up. Try again. Keep trying. So that was like a nice message of encouragement there for us. And then my mom gave me this beautiful, beautiful bag to put them in. Like, as soon as she gave me this, I was like, I know what it's for, and I just love it. It's perfect. So perfect. I don't know where she got this bag, but I love it so much. Next is the Deep Place Oracle by Ray Serafina Barker. I believe I also got this on Kickstarter. It's a very beautiful, beautiful deck. I like the, well, one, it's got gilded edges. I love when they, yes, I love the gilding edges. It's just a really beautiful deck. I like it. It's kind of ethereal and surreal. Just, I like it. And the meanings and the messages that come from the cards are very deep. So it does have a guidebook as well. I realized that a lot of the decks that I chose kind of resonate, hold on, with the energy of soul contracts. Like when I was looking at the cards and the artwork on the Deep Place Oracle, it reminded me of the soul contract card. So I'm very interested to see how my decks are going to support me. The Shaman's Dream Oracle was the next deck that just wanted to join. I'm very excited to work with this again. I was trying to decide between the, was it the Mystic Shaman? But this is the one that I kept like seeing, so I pulled it off the shelf to work with. And this is by Alberto Villoldo and Colette Baron-Reid, the Shaman's Dream Oracle. And then we have this Soul Trees Ascension deck. I think this one came from Etsy. I don't know, there was something about it, the cards, the artwork, the messages. It's a very simple, where it has like art that I can get lost in. This was created by Allison Williams Yee. It's well-being. So like I said, it was a lot of nature-based. Oh, look at that grounded. That's so beautiful. A lot of nature. I was going to use the Animal Spirit by Kim Krans, and then I looked and I was like, well, I have this deck, which is a nature-based deck. I have the Heart Path Oracle cards. This deck, I haven't really used it much. I used it for a couple of readings, and then I really felt like this would be a good deck to work with in 2025. And it is a nature-based deck. So I was like, well, I don't want to do too much nature. So let me switch it up a little bit. So look how beautiful that is. And these are big cards as well. You know, I like my big decks. Oh, these would be pretty edged too with yellow or maybe a light blue. The space between your lives. Look how beautiful that is. Look at the ladybugs. And you've got the Ankh inside the sacred text. Oh, wow, this is beautiful. If you dream it, you can create it. Amen, ashe to that. And that's a beautiful library with all of the books. Heavenly. So yeah, so I wanted to choose this because the message for this particular deck being about the gateway into the path of the heart, which again, I feel like aligns with soul contracts as well. Then we have, this was one of the first decks that I was like, I'm working with this, the Moon Oracle. I have not used this deck in years, and it's just been sitting there. So this is helps you like really connect in with the phases of the moon. And that is something that, again, is part of my spiritual practices, something that has always been helpful for me. And so this is what the cards look like. And so I wanted to integrate that energy into my life and work with this deck. So I pulled it off of my shelf as well. These would look really pretty with silver edges. I need to get some more markers so that I can work on edging my decks. So for 2025 oracles, I've got the Moon Oracle deck. the Deep Place Oracle, Soul Trees Ascending, the Shaman's Dream Oracle, the Heart Path Oracle, and my Ancestor Oracle deck. So those are the cards that I'm going to be working with in 2025. I will probably maybe do a separate video on each deck just to expound upon them a little bit more and share what I like about them. Also what, and maybe like what I'm looking forward to, like to learning from them, I guess. But yeah, these are the decks that I'm going to be working with as my daily drivers for my personal readings. And I'm very, very, very excited to have chosen these. And I want to share with you my journal. Give me a second. I've got a lot going on my desk. That's part of what I'm doing for New Year preparation also is, yeah, getting things organized. Because I've got a ton of books and journals and all the things. So I believe I've shared this before, but I made a journal. It's called the Major Key Divination Tarot and Oracle Journal. And the Major Key Divination is a spread that I created in a time where I needed a lot of guidance. And so it started in my journal as a question that I was asking myself, and then I was sitting and it evolved into so much more. It started building off of my card of the day and just turned into this whole thing. And so there is a section for, oopsie, this thing is massive, for a monthly deck selection. You can use the same spread or different, the same deck or different decks for each theme. So every month I'll pull cards for a key theme. So because I've already pulled key themes for each month in my annual reading, what I'll do is use that as the key theme. So I think January is celebration. So celebration will be my key theme. And then I'll pull a card for guiding energy, my spiritual path, and my healing path. And then I have like the tarot and oracle deck that I use. I try to keep it the same just because, like I said, when you work with the same deck, you just see all the patterns and stuff. And then you can write each card and then journal here. And then it goes into a daily spread, which is why this book is so massive. So you have space to break down the key energy of the day. And then for the key areas that I was working on at the time was like money, devotion, business, and love. And you can like change those out to whatever areas of life you want to focus on. So I'll probably change one of these to health or wellness instead. But yeah, and so this is a journal that I think has 6 months worth of space to do the major key divination readings in. And this is something that I definitely want to use every single day. I was pretty consistent with it. And then life started getting super busy and it kind of fell to the wayside. So yeah, that's something else that I enjoy doing for myself. And I have found that it's been very, very profound for me. So I will be incorporating that into my daily spiritual practices as well. So I've got my decks for 2025 already. Really excited. I think the decks that I'm most excited about are the Moon Oracle and the Wild Unknown, because like I said, I have not really worked with that deck at all. So I don't know what to expect from her. And maybe I'll do like some deck interviews with each deck, or maybe not each deck, but probably like the Wild Unknown for sure, because I haven't really sat to get to know it. So that's what I'm excited about. I've got my decks for the year, my focus for the year. I've done my annual readings. I do have my 2 readings that I usually get. I get a New Year reading and an aura reading, so I'm excited to get those in. And then usually once they do, I kind of sit down, light some candles, I go through everything, and then further plan out my year according to like spiritual guidance. So I feel like I am equipped with all the tools that I need to succeed, and I'm very grateful to have this space to share my journey with you, along with my love of divination, which is what Spiritual Love Tarot is all about. So that is it today. I will be back soon. I'm sending you an abundance of love and wishing you all a blessed and joyous holiday season.